in the 14, she already traveled on 4 continents. She knew how to use and pronounce a concierge. And she had shaken hands in the White House with the President of the United States. Once when Catherine was 5 years old and in kindergarten, her class was studying the changes in seasons, summer, winter, you know. Her homework assignment was to describe the 4 seasons to Mom and Dad. So when the time came, she described in minute and accurate detail her several visits to the 4 Seasons Hotel in Washington, D.C. She said, first you drive up and the doorman takes your car. 5 years old. 1 generation. 1 generation. And the circumstances of my life and my family's life were completely transformed. Now that story doesn't get told as often as we'd like, but it gets told more often in this country than any other place on earth. That is an American. We take those to imagine a different path, a different way for ourselves and our families, and then work for it. That is the American dream. Well, my friends, too many today are wondering, asking themselves, whether the American dream is up for grabs. Thanks to the global economic collapse, millions of people have lost their jobs, their savings. Thousands have lost their homes. Many, maybe some of you, have lost confidence. In Massachusetts and perhaps here in North Carolina, some folks harbored doubt about the American dream even before the Great Recession. A little more than 5 years ago now, when I first came to office, young people and jobs were leaving our state. way because sometimes the dead people feel it too. Everything that goes wrong, including the West, is my fault. And everything that goes right is happening. No, none of this is happening by accident. It's happening because of the choice we're making. Choices based on our values. We have much more to do, of course, but we are on the right track because we place our faith not in unfettered markets or angry rhetoric, but in our values and our common sense. Now, Republicans would make different choices, and I want to be absolutely clear. I am governor of all of the people of the Commonwealth, the people who voted for me and the ones who didn't, the people who like this, who had policy choice, and the ones who don't. I'm kind of old-fashioned, I guess, in that sense, that I believe that the campaign ends on Election Day. But the values that inform my choices are those of a Democrat. And the values that therefore the choices of the National Republican Party and their candidate for president today, and it sounds like an awful lot of their members of the state legislature here in North Carolina, are very, very different. And coming into the 2012 elections, we had better be crystal clear about that. You know, after you cut through all their slogans, all that Republicans are saying is that if we just shrink government, cut spending, crush unions, and wait, all will be well. Of course, history has proven them wrong time after time after time, and I hope we all know that. But here's the thing that just amazes me. Republicans don't actually believe what they say.
Exactly. That's what I say every year.
The same folks who say that government should be small and spending should be limited are responsible in the Bush administration for the biggest run-up in the size of the federal government and in the federal The same folks who attack the principle of public sector collective bargaining today make exceptions for any union who supports their candidate. The same folks who say that jobs should be a top priority oppose every job plan Democrats support and have no job plan of their own. It's amazing to me how Republicans just don't mean what they say. The same folks who say religious fundamentalism is a danger overseas are busy promoting it right here at home.
There we go.
Anything to win power. They have abandoned any sense of shared responsibility for our future and put division itself at the top of their party's political agenda. And then when you call them on it, they turn to bullying. We Democrats need to be better than that. But that means more than having a strong argument for what we are against. We need to be clear about what it is we are for. I am proud to be a Democrat. I love those websites, but I will tell you, since we are a Muslim family, that sometimes Democrats get on my last nerve. keep Barack Obama in the White House and move our country forward. The privilege to lead. That it's time for Democrats to grow a backbone and stand up for because different convictions lead to different choices. Some of our choices and some of those facing our nation, maybe even some of our traditional allies, less comfortable. But these times demand more than making each other comfortable. These times demand that we reconnect with our highest and best values and face up to the hard choices before us with candor and with courage. Because doing so today will make us stronger tomorrow. For an awful lot of people in America today, the American dream is up for grabs. People are questioning that simple, defining notion that here in America you can make a better way for yourself and your family. The very notion that has made us an envy of the world. I am proud of the work we are doing to restore the American dream in Massachusetts. But as a resident of the Commonwealth, as a Democrat, and as an American, I am not yet satisfied. And neither should you be. We can't be satisfied until every single resident who seeks work can find it. We can't be satisfied until a great school is within reach of every child, not just the kids in the wealthy country. We can't be satisfied until health care is as accessible across Massachusetts, across America, as it is in Massachusetts, and as affordable as it is accessible. We can't be satisfied until we bring simplicity to government and true equity to our taxes. So seniors can age in their own communities instead of in nursing homes, and people with disabilities can live independently instead of in institutions. We can't be satisfied until we have enough police on the streets and enough stability at home to end youth violence. We can't be satisfied until we start treating each other as scripture teachers, the way we ourselves want to be treated, even if they come from a foreign land. We can't be satisfied, and we won't be satisfied until we bear our generational responsibility. Our responsibility to leave this place better than we found, to lift one another up rather than tear each other down. These are the choices Democrats stand for. On creating jobs, on schools, on health care, on climate change, on government reform, on social and economic justice. Are we going to be satisfied, or are we going to finish what we started? We worked hard all across America 4 years ago to change the guard. Now it's up to us, the guard, to change. Polls and pundits tell us the next senator, or member of Congress, governor, or president will be. We shape our own future by running on our values and working at the grassroots. That is precisely what we did in 2008. In 2012, let's do it again. And let me ask you to start by standing up for President Obama. Every single American in every corner of America after 90 years. those democratic values, those American values, based on a commitment to leave a better country than he found. And I will not stand by and let this president be bullied out of office. Come together at our career centers to encourage and support each other. The folks I met, about 20 in all, were mostly in their 50s like me, and the oldest was 61. Some had been out of work for as long as a year or more. As they told their stories one by one, it was clear that each of them had done everything they were supposed to do. They did their jobs, raised their families, they saved what they could, they helped out in the neighborhood. And one day they got a visit or a note from the boss saying that because of the downturn in the economy, their services were no longer needed. They talked about what losing their jobs and the means of providing for their families had done to their lives, and to their confidence in themselves and in their country. These are the folks everybody tells us are angry. I'm going to tell you, the people I met were angry. One man told me he wasn't sure what he would do with his unemployment benefits tonight. He's not worried about whether he can take a family vacation or buy a new iPad. He's worried about groceries in America in the 21st century. No one I met at that job club thinks government can or should solve every problem in their lives. They just want to know that their government sees them, that their government cares about them, that we're doing what we can to help them help themselves. And the folks at that job club or others whom the recovery has not yet touched, the other part is political opening. We see unfinished business. They are about power. We are about progress. That is a story that works and wins if you tell it. Every day I go to work, the people I met at that job club and the ones I meet like them all over the Commonwealth and around the country are on my mind and my heart. They are central not just to our work and our policy, but also to our values as Democrats and as Americans. It's for them that we can't be satisfied and we can't be afraid. It's for them that Democrats have to stand up again for the politics of conviction. The American dream is worth fighting for. I say that not just as a governor or as a Democrat, but as someone who has lived. Believe in that. Commit to that. Stand tall and fight for that with optimism and effort, with hope and hard work. And by the grace of God, we will win in November and deserve to win.